Titanfall 2 was released on the 28th of October 2016, in between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and because of this, didn't see as much success as the developers, Respawn Entertainment, were hoping. Yes, the same Respawn Entertainment responsible for Apex Legends. And seeing as Titanfall 2 is almost 10 years old and is one of my favourite games ever, I thought I would give it a quick review as I think it is one of the most underrated games, not just first-person shooters, but in general, one of the most underrated games ever made. And I will try to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible, and the campaign clips I use in the beginning of this are relatively spoiler-free, but I just want to mention it is one of the later missions in the campaign, so it might have some light spoilers. If you don't want to risk that, and to be honest I completely recommend you go into this game completely blind, it is incredible, then I will make chapters throughout this video, so if you just want to jump to the multiplayer side of the review, then I will be creating chapters, or you can just skip to whatever the time on screen is if you would like to skip the campaign part of the review. But without further ado, let's get started. So Titanfall 2 comes from the perspective of Grunt Jack Cooper. Jack Cooper is a militia grunt fighting for the freedom of the frontier, which is essentially a separate group of planets past Earth that is threatened by the IMC, who want the frontier for themselves. Cooper wants to become a pilot. Now, a pilot is someone who pilots these big robots called Titans, and of course that's why the game is called Titanfall. When Cooper finds a lone Titan called BT-7274, the original pilot Captain Ty Lastimosa hands over his mission and his Titan to Cooper to complete and uphold the mission. So I think the campaign of Titanfall 2 is absolutely incredible. I cannot praise it enough. I think all the characters, both good and bad, are superb. My only gripe is that some of the characters don't get as much development as Cooper and BT, but that personally didn't bother me. I also think the relationship between Cooper and BT is definitely the strongest point of the campaign. They're like two cops working together basically. And to avoid any spoilers, I'm only going to explain this briefly. Your bond with BT kind of at the same rate as Cooper does, so you're almost going on the same journey as, Cooper is, as he's discovering this new life as a pilot. I'm going to talk more about the gameplay specific side of this game on the multiplayer side of the review, but again, in short, the gameplay is probably the smoothest and the most fun I have experienced in any other game, hands down. The movement especially is what I think has made the Titanfall series so popular, with the double jumping, the wall running, sliding and bunny hopping and all of that kind of thing. And I know some games do utilise that, such as the previously mentioned Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, but the systems in Titanfall just feel so much smoother and more open world. Like, every surface in a game can be climbed and wall run onto and double jumped across. Like, I just think, especially in the multiplayer side, where you are out of your Titan more, it makes such a difference. It's so much fun. It's like Mirror's Edge on steroids. Like, I cannot describe to you how fun it is. I think the lore of the universe of Titanfall and Titanfall 2 is also very, very interesting. And the mystery and involvement of everyone in the story definitely makes you want to keep going and find out who's involved, what role do they play. Again, I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but it's very, very interesting, and the game definitely rewards you for exploring. Now, the story isn't super complex, and it's not really anything to write home about, but that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like, at the point where you find BT, Cooper at that point is basically an infant in the Frontier War. He's still a grunt, he wants to become a pilot eventually, he's all very new to this sort of thing, a lot like us, the player. So we need to figure things out alongside our new companion BT-7274. But I think in terms of first-person shooters, the campaign is definitely the most intriguing and probably the most fun and compelling, especially in comparison to Titanfall 1. Like, the first Titanfall, the only time you could play the campaign missions were online, like campaign missions. There are better videos out there explaining Titanfall 1 and the campaign they kind of utilised, but Titanfall 2 is a lot better. Okay, so that's pretty much the campaign side of it. Again, short and sweet, but I don't want to get into any spoilers, so now we'll move on to the multiplayer side of the review. Now, you can briefly see in the clip I'm showing on screen that in terms of pilot loadouts, there are a lot that is similar with the first game, but the main difference is, of course, the Titan loadouts, or lack thereof. Instead of a custom Titan like you had in Titanfall 1, so in the first game you were able to customize the chassis, what weapons you had, what attachments those weapons had, your ordnance, your assault kit, all of that. You were able to change every little detail of that. Unlike in the first game, Titanfall 2 has more of a class system. And I can't lie, at first, I did not like this. I much preferred the full customization of the first game, but now that I've played Titanfall 2 for a bit longer, I can say that in my opinion it is definitely better and it adds more depth to the gameplay. Because in the first game anything went, you didn't really know, apart from the weapon and chassis, you didn't really know what else they had. Did they have a vortex shield? Did they have rockets? Did they have electric smoke? Like, you had no idea. Whereas in Titanfall 2, when you see, say, a Scorch, you know that you have to play long range and not sit in the corners or sit near walls. You want to fight in the open. Or with a North Star, you want to do the opposite and get in close. And you know, as a particular Titan, how to play to that Titan's strengths and weaknesses. So, like, again, for example, with Scorch, you want to get the enemy into a corner or into a cramped area where you can use the thermite to damage them. Or, with my personal favourite, Ronin, you want to use corners and dashes to your advantage to do a lot of hit and runs with Ronin. Ronin is very much good for single targets and for pilots, not groups of Titans. So again, you kind of, depending what Titan you have, you can play differently depending what Titan you have. And I think that adds so much more depth and probably a lot more balance than, say, the first game, where everyone was rocking Ogre Exo-16s with vortex shields. Every movement aspect of the campaign is ramped up tenfold in the multiplayer. Like, the speed some people can achieve using grapples and stims is honestly absurd, and it's so much fun. Put it simply, the multiplayer is just insanely fun. Like, there's never really a dull moment in the multiplayer. However, that doesn't mean it's perfect. There are a few balancing issues. For example, there is definitely an SMG meta in the game. Even a super fast firing SMG, which I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's a 40 round mag and it empties it in no time. Even that is as good long range as some of the rifles, which is a bit absurd. And a lot of the Titan kits are pretty useless, both the class specific ones and the normal ones which carry over. A lot of them you look at and you think, why on earth would I put that over the other one? But in terms of balancing, it's nowhere near as bad as some other games. So another gripe I have is regarding the animations, or the perspective of the animations. So in Titanfall 1, they were all first person. When you embarked your Titan, any execution you did, it was all first person. But in Titanfall 2, it is now all third person. Which I kind of get the player executions and the boarding of the Titan as third person, because you kind of want to see what's going on around you. But in terms of Titan executions, I much preferred it when it was first person. I can't lie, sometimes the third person animations just takes you out the game a little bit. I should mention that there is a mod that reintroduces first-person executions using the North Star client, which is basically a separate mod launcher and different set of servers from Titanfall 2, and it was made because the standard Titanfall 2 servers suffered a DDoS attack, and still to this day the first Titanfall game is unplayable because of these DDoS attacks. However, I do believe Respawn have sorted the issue with the Titanfall 2 servers, because I'm playing normal non-North Star client games on these servers and they work absolutely fine. But I would recommend trying out the North Star client. If you just look up North Star client on Google or whatever search engine you have, you'll be able to download it, and it adds so many game modes and different mods, including the first person animations, and it is just really fun. It adds a lot of game modes which should have come with the first game or the second game. Aside from that, I genuinely have no other complaints about the multiplayer. All the maps are incredible and fun and have different playstyles to them. Some are more cramped, some are more open. Titan and player combat feels so smooth, and you feel the weight of each Titan class, whether you're in them or against them. Animations are super smooth, and the game still looks absolutely incredible. The customization and cosmetics are superb as well. You get so much variety in camos and nose paints for your Titans. You can even change which person is opening the dropship for you via the factions tab. I usually do pick Cuban Blisk from the Apex Predators because I think he's just super cool. Another thing that makes the multiplayer feel so fast paced and makes it feel like something's always happening is that a lot of AI spawns, like AI grunts, spectres, reapers, stalkers, like all of those spawn in to act as extra points, yes, but also you're never really not killing something. It's probably similar to Doom, to be honest. But this means no matter where you go, there's always action, like there's not ever really a dull moment. There is a pilot v pilot with no AI, like there is a separate game mode for that, but the maps are a lot smaller, and in my opinion the PvE VP elements of attrition, where all these AI do spawn in, I think is a lot more fun. Overall, I 100% believe that this is the best multiplayer FPS made, and that goes for PC and console, because a lot of my early hours were on Xbox, but yeah, I just think the multiplayer wise, this game is super strong. Now, there is another game mode on the multiplayer side called Frontier Defense, which is a 4-player PvE game mode where you have to protect the Harvester, and you're working with, to avoid spoilers, you're working with Davis and Droz, who you do meet in the campaign, but again, don't want to spoil anything. Each Titan each class of Titan that you use in Frontier Defense has an Aegis ranking, or Aegis ranking, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And these are like separate power-ups which you can use exclusively in Frontier Defense, and the more you play as that Titan, the higher your Aegis rank goes, unlocking more and more kind of class specific abilities. Some carry over, like extra shields and health, but the rest of them are unique to that class of Titan. This game mode is also just super fun if you just want to mindlessly kill some AI, and you can see in the clips I am providing here that Scorch is probably the strongest choice for Frontier Defense, and also it's a really good XP farm if you enable double XP. Aside from all that, most of the mechanics from standard multiplayer do carry over to Frontier Defense. And that is about it, quick and easy. I know this review isn't as extensive as most other reviews, and I know there are much better reviews out there which cover the development of Titanfall 2 and go much more in depth into the gameplay elements and whatnot, but I just wanted to make a quick review because I absolutely love this game, and I think it's a shame that it hasn't been more recognised, especially because I was such a fan of the first game as well. I truly do believe that Titanfall 2 is the most underrated game out there and probably the best FPS ever. And it goes on sale so often. Like, I picked up the game on Steam for £3. In fact, I've just checked, At the time of me making this video, 5th of May 2025, I'm not sure when it's going to be uploaded, it's on sale again for £3.74. I'll check a screenshot up quickly now. But Titanfall 2 goes on sale so often, and this is on sale until the 15th of May. So for less money than a meal deal, you can grab one of the best FPSs ever made. Oh, and I thought I'd include this at the end of the video. Of course, the best bit of Titanfall is when you have to
stand by for Titanfall. You're better together.
Honestly, never gets old. It's so much fun. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you would leave a like and subscribe and a comment about how you found the video, that would honestly mean the world to me. Now go and get Titanfall 2 now.